Hello, Chosen. Welcome back to our channel. Today's message is going to be entitled The Witch Hunt is On. Okay. This has been a message that I've been holding on to for a little bit, just because maybe it just wasn't time yet. I still was piecing pieces to the puzzle, okay, to some current situations in my life. But then it finally hit me like, oh, okay. I started putting things together. The spell has worn off, okay? So in recent years, I've had many enemies, okay? And sometimes we have hidden enemies. So, there's a saying conspiracy runs deep. So when war comes, it hits you on all different fronts. You got multiple groups and different people fighting you at the same time, right? But this hidden enemy that I come to realize, but I just couldn't put the pieces together. The pieces were there, but the spell work and the blindness that they had casted upon me was very, very heavy, that I just couldn't put it together. Like, I would have it there, but I didn't feel the strong conviction in my spirit and the confirmation of it. You know what I mean? To really be able to release it or to really believe it in my consciousness, right? So I remember a couple of months ago, I met this black lady in a Burlington coat factory. She was an older woman, maybe like 60s or something, 65. And she was a Hebrew Israelite, and she was in the store talking loud as hell. She was in there cutting up, y'all. She was in there talking shit about white folks, you hear me, and all this stuff. So I go over and I start talking to her, and we start talking. And she one thing that she said to me that I remember, she was like, yeah, they're gonna go back to like the old days or whatever. She was like, they're doing it right now. She was like, the witch hunt is on, So I remember her saying that was there. I'm like, okay. But the way that she was describing it was, of course, in the whole biblical aspect of her understanding of it. Okay, so I had a series of dreams, okay? And also I had a series of interactions. Now, I was living in North Carolina, okay? Now, when I began to realize that things was real in North Carolina and that there was still some wicked people in the city, was one, I remember when I first moved there, I had this white man, right? I remember I was trying to cross the street to get into the grocery store. You know how you come, like I'm out the car, so I'm walking to the intersection, and you know how the cars are coming this way, right? Coming out, and I'm going this way to get across the street. So he stops his car. There's this white woman that's before me that's crossing the street, right? And he allows her to cross, and then he says, you can go, but you stop, wait right there. And then he pulled off on me, right? So that was like the first bit of racism that I experienced, okay? And again, while I was living in North Carolina, I was living like predominantly in a bubble, you know what I mean? Predominantly, at my home, at work, and that was it, okay? So in a bubble. So then I began to look at the people, because like there's like a different grade of people going on in this city. So you got like these military people who are there that come from all over the world, these military black people. So they act and seem pretty normal, but like the natives of that city, they seem like they stuck back in slavery time. You know what I mean? I had ran into this guy, great brother, but he been working on these white folks plantation. He took me by these white folks plantation. He told me it used to be a plantation, but it was like this huge place where pretty much there's no crops they're growing there right now, but there's tons of animal livestock, and there's just tons of lands, and they got houses on it and everything. And I forget the people names. There's this white family that got some money, and they are some of the power families of that city, okay? And the way he be acting, you know what I mean? The way he treat the old white lady, it's like remind me of like just sharecropping days, you know, and how the black man got a crush on an older white woman. Like it seemed like he had a crush on this white woman, and you know, he dressed in like these overalls and stuff. He just had the old scenery of what you think a slave, you know, the slaves that really was trying to be good in with the mass and stuff used to look and used to act. He act like that, you know. So the way he talked about him was like he was part of the family. Yeah, he's like, yeah, mama grew up here, mama did sharecropping, and you know, and he seen it like he was a part of their family. He would go by there every day and he would work for free and do stuff around the plantation, you know what I mean, just because he grew up there and he wanted to continue the tradition, I guess. So you had these type of black folks that still resided, the natives that was of the area. So like when you cross the river and you go into the other section of town, that's when it started looking I could never go down there. I had to get the hell out of there every time I got down there, because it really was like I was in an old town and I was in the 1800s, 1700s or something like that, okay? So you had that aspect going on in this community, okay? So that was another realization of where I was at. Now, these were all just glimpses, because again, I'm in a bubble. So now, one night I decide, a friend of mine had given me tickets to go see the baseball game. And I decided that I was going to walk home, okay? And it was late night. I think the game was probably over like 9 or 10 or whatever. And, you know, from my home city, I'm used to walking the streets any time of night, and everything is everything, you know what I mean? And my city is a crime-ridden city, but it's my people, and I never felt unsafe or like anything could happen to me, because, you know, and nothing ever did happen to me. You know, even though all that stuff was going on in my city, in the midst of it, I still was protected and, you know, kept. So still, you know, I'm anywhere I go, you know, I'm gonna walk because I like to walk, you know. So I decided to walk home that night, and about halfway to me getting to my destination, I'm walking past a graveyard now, okay? And now this is the thing, okay? Okay, so let me just tell the story. So I get past a graveyard, and then all of a sudden, I know a car rode past me, and then I got hit. Somebody hit me with a slingshot. They had something like a rock or something that was attached. Spirit revealed to me later that it was a slingshot. I got hit with a slingshot. They hit me. And the person rode past silently, didn't say anything. You know what I mean? And then I thought to myself, I was confused. I was like, did somebody hit me from the graveyard? Was it some spirits in that graveyard that hit me while I walked past? Or was it that car? Because that car, it's like they said nothing. I would expect them to say nigga or say something out of the car. You know what I mean? If it was somebody in that car. So for years, I was perplexed by that situation, but I knew I got hit and I had a bruise on my breast. And I made it home the rest of the way, you know, fine, just looking and doing what I needed to do to get there. But this now also is a city where a lot of like wars, they got like plaques all throughout the city with these Confederate wars that was fought. They got all these Confederate graveyards and stuff like that. They'll have signs telling you that a battle happened here, a battle happened there, like throughout the whole city, okay? So I begin to think two things. I begin to think, okay, somebody watched me, you know, walk, and they watched me, you know, this whole time, you know, and then they just circled around and said, we're going to give us something, you know what I mean? Or either it could have been them Confederate spirits that reside in that land that come out at night that hit me, okay? So that was my predominant thought for the next couple years about that incident. So now I do research, a little bit more research on the city and the town, and talk to some of the locals, and people got stories about these graveyards in this city, you know, and they were pretty much saying that those Confederate soldiers and all them old racist white folks, They spirits is heavily roaming the land. You know what I mean? So these were the things that I was presented with, okay? Now, 2021, okay, I believe is when I came into like where I became known to a particular group in Fayetteville, North Carolina, okay? Now, in Fayetteville, they have lodges, lots of lodges, okay? They also, like if you just go to anybody's house, everybody got some kind of spirituality going on. Very occultic city. And I remember talking to a prison guard. He told me that Fayetteville was the most witchy and occultic city in North Carolina. That's what he had said to me, just randomly. Okay. And like I said, I could verify this because as I'm going out doing deliveries and going to people's house, everybody got something. If it ain't just something like Smurfs and elves and, you know, altars like that by their door, they got big skulls. They got the big moose heads with the horns. Like, I mean, I done seen it all. Okay. So, and I went to this one person house. I swear I prayed that I ain't never go to this person house ever again. Okay. His house was all black. Okay. And on his door, I think he might have had the Baphomet. He either had the Baphomet or he had some scary looking imagery up there. But it was pretty much a black and red house with just a whole bunch of paraphernalia of wickedness. You know, I ain't even want to drop his shit off at the door, I promise you. But then I was like, I can't because I don't want him to try nothing on me. I don't need no more enemies. You know what I mean? So I went and put his stuff at his door and kept it moving. Okay. But, yeah, I say that to say there was a lot of people involved in occultic rituals or occultic knowledge, okay? So now, I remember going on Google Maps, right? I had, at this time, I had an enemy that was bothering me, that would be stalking me. So I had put on my door of my apartment, I had put a image of, I believe Sekhmet. Sekhmet was on my door, okay? And I remember going to Google Maps, and from Google Maps, you could see this image on my door, okay? So I believe that might have been when I came in, when I became made aware to these secret societies and these large members of that city, okay? Because again, their whole thing, okay, Christianity is their weapon to keep our people in check, and especially in the Bible Belt, okay? So for me to be there and have this Sekhmet on my door, I think that's when I came onto their radar, okay? So I left North Carolina for a little while, okay? I did some traveling, and then I came back, okay? And then I found a place. So in my new place now, I began to have my trash stolen, okay? That's when I realized somebody was going in my trash. They was collecting, you know, my period blood, okay? At this time, I might have been aware of sacred fluids or whatever, but I didn't think I had any enemies to hide anything from or to keep it away from. So I was putting probably my hair and my menstrual blood in the trash can, okay? They were coming to my home and going through my trash, okay? And then a series of attacks began to happen. And I realized that the enemies that I was familiar with, I was dealing with a whole nother enemy, okay? And I was Spirit was sending me dreams and certain stuff through. So for instance, I kept on getting dreams about Jesus Christ, right? Like Jesus would be, I remember one dream, Jesus was like in a chair and they had him raised up in the sky, and it was like a parade coming through the town, and he was risen, and a group of men were holding him up on this chair walking through the town, and it was all these white men. It was like, yeah, I'm Jesus, yeah, I'm a white man, and so what? And it was like giving off this white supremacy energy. Okay. And okay, so that was one thing. Then I had another dream after going to this event, which I believe some form of Masonic people hold this event every year for the city. So I went to this event, and I had a few words with a few people. And I remember immediately after getting back to my city, I was tired and I wanted to take a nap. So I took a nap, and I had a dream again. And it was like these white folks in this religious attire, and they were holding up some form of a cross, okay? Some kind of cross, okay? I feel like it was the Crusaders cross, and they was coming towards me, and they was in like this red, this dark maroon red color, right? And it was still giving off this white supremacist energy, okay? Then prior to that, before I had left the country, me and my daughter was staying at a hotel, and she had gotten a dream during this time that the hotel was surrounded by Klansmen on horses and burning a cross. Okay. Now, some articles came out over the years that I became privy to about how the Ku Klux Klan was still very much alive in this part of North Carolina, and they were recruiting, they were leaving flyers on people's windows and stuff like that, and trying to terrorize people. They were doing it like during Martin Luther King's birthday and stuff like that, to let people know they were still in existence. They had like pamphlets that they were putting on black folks' cars, okay? So they are very much present in North Carolina, and they're very much shadowy, okay? Very much shadowy. So I want y'all to know that as Hurricane Helen has made landfall and has done what she has done, people are now saying that Hurricane Helene was the ancestors coming and destroying these sundown towns. Okay, and people are mentioning that North Carolina is a sundown state. So I'm here to just give y'all my experience of dealing with these people, and to tell you, like, yeah, these people still do exist. They still here. You know, that young man who just recently died, he was a truck driver who got killed in one of these cities, and they trying to say it was a suicide, and other people are saying no, it's a sundown city and they killed him. You know what I mean? And his father got on the news and said, I can't believe this kind of stuff is still going on in 2024. Well, listen, y'all better believe this ain't nothing ever stopped. We are the Native Americans that they have been killing since they got here. They ain't never stopped waging war on us. I need our people to know that and understand that. You know, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could be living in a bubble as a black person if you ain't really been in the trenches. Like, I grew up in the trenches. We seen the effect of what colonialism did to our people. It destroyed my whole lineage. I got to witness it. I got to live out what that destruction looks like. So I guess some people are sheltered. They were able to keep the family structure intact. So some people are oblivious to this reality that this is really still a thing. You know, so I'm here to tell you, yes, this is really still a thing. And these people really still do exist, and they're shadowy, and they work in secrecy. Okay. So you need to be aware. So after months and months, probably years of trying to figure out what this was that was coming through to me, it finally came to me the other day. It really hit me, okay, that it was these organizations, these people, they know that we are rising. The Chosen is here, and the Chosen is getting busy, and they want to slow us down and destroy us. Don't think that they are not watching us online have these conversations. Okay, not just those random white people that decide they're gonna come in the chat and leave a message. These people, these government officials, these government agencies, and not only them, these hate groups, they are watching us. Okay, so don't think that we just on here doing all this talking and they allowing us to just do all this talking. They watching, they monitoring. Okay, so I need you to know that. And they out here doing spell work on us, okay? Trying to steal our gifts, trying to kill us and trying to destroy us. That's the witch hunt. This is the way they're doing it. They're doing it in the form of how they did that boy the other day down there, that where they hung him, and they're doing it in this form through magical workings, okay? Sending spell work out to destroy our movements. They got their third eye spies, these remote viewers that are watching our men especially, and sending things their way to destroy them. Okay, I want you to know, when you see somebody like who was the young man, young Pharaoh, somebody like a young Pharaoh, all of us, we might not have the complete knowledge of what the hell's going on, and some stuff might be seeming far out there to us, but we all know that something is wrong. That's the common theme I want for all of you to know. We all got different kind of information and knowledge and wisdom, but we know that there's an enemy. We are aware of that. We might call it different names and different stuff, but we are aware that there's an enemy that is out against us, okay? So I say that to say, when I mention these brothers' names, some people might not agree with who they were, but these were our men nonetheless. And they, whether they were sent to do this work, they may not have been called or sent to do this work, but they decided to step up and do this work when no one else was doing it, okay? So I give them their respect and honor them for that. I say that to say, somebody like a young Pharaoh, we seen Nature Boy, we seen Brother Black, when they started out, they was right. Don't think that these people won't send something your way to have you revert back to your lower self, so that now with all this power and progress that you're making, they send something. These women, they send women, they get you greedy, they get you lustful, they send any spirits at them to destroy them. And we are taking the bait. Our men are taking the bait. I need our men and women to not digress. Okay, know that they are sending spell work out to put you back in your lower state and put you back to sleep. We need our men. Yes, the women are rising and we are on the forefront, but there's so much that I can do. I'm a single mother. I got to take care of my kid, and I'm a woman. Yes, I'm a woman king, but I know ain't nothing like the son, the man. Okay, I understand his role, his importance, and his vitality. He is the vitality. You know what I mean? The sun gives us life. He is what allows me to be animated. You understand? I need the sun. So I know where my power comes from, right? So it comes from the sun, the physical sun, but also the man is the physical manifestation of the astrological sun. And we are the females, the moon, the female, the earthly manifestation of the moon. So we must value our men, protect our men, pray for our men, that they stay sound, that they don't bite the apple, that they don't take any temptation, because we need you. I'm so happy with the new group of men that I've seen actually online that are speaking up and taking charge. Like, I love to see that. I hope more of y'all come to the forefront. Don't be scared, okay? If you know you called and you got that protection on you, it's time to come out. We need y'all, okay? We need y'all on the forefront, and we need y'all to be strong. We are tired of y'all falling for this juvenile spell work these people sending. Well, I ain't even gonna call it juvenile. It ain't juvenile. It's some serious stuff they sending away. Because I was battling what they sent this last year, and I finally shook it off, and I finally got the clarity of what it was. So it is heavy. But I promise, if you stick with it and you keep praying and you keep asking for revelation, it will eventually come, okay? But I say this to say that the witch hunt is on. They are aware of us, okay? They might not be online shouting it to the ceiling that they know we exist, but they're watching, okay? So we ain't got no time for lacking. You got to be on your spiritual game. You got to be on your spiritual hygiene, okay? And praying that you stay sane. Praying that you don't fall for their vices, okay? The money is a big thing that destroy our people, the money. You get a little bit of money, a little bit of fame, and you know that ego kicks in and it destroys you. Okay, we ain't in this for the money. Okay, we ain't in it for that. We ain't in it for the fame. We are in this for the deliverance of our people. Some men, they get the power of fame, then all the women start coming to them. They send that beautiful woman, and she come in there, slip you something, and you ain't never right again. You're gone. We need y'all here. So we need you to know their vices and that they are after you and they are targeting you. So just because they allowed you to get big and famous and you got all these views and all these followers, they are watching. They are setting you up for your downfall. Okay? Always have that and know that in your mind. If they letting you get that big and you got a big voice out here, no, they are on your ass. You must guard the throne. We need you. We can't afford for our men to be taken out, and we got to wait another 50 years for a Messiah to be born to get us out of this shit. Right now, today is the time, okay? So I'm going to be praying for all our Messiahs to come forth and for y'all protection day and night. We need y'all, okay? We need y'all, and I appreciate y'all, okay? So yes, that was my experience in finally understanding what they were doing. So basically, they were trying to shut down my connection to spirit, as well as push me back into Christianity. Like it was like some kind of force field that was trying to connect me to religion and trying to tell me that all this stuff that I had been into prior was evil and wicked, and this is why these attacks and these things was happening to me, which was a lie. They wanted me to go back to sleep. They wanted me to go back into religion. But my soul could never go back into something like that. Okay? So this is the tactics that they will be doing. They'll be trying to play games with your mind, destroy your mind, try to continuously put forth the narrative that spirituality is evil and that Jesus Christ is the only way. Okay, that is their weaponry, and they got our people, the face of this war that they are fighting for them against us, that are awakened. Okay, so be mindful when you're on these Christian channels, because again, there is some wisdom and knowledge in the people that are preaching and teaching Christianity, people who have great understanding of the scriptures. There is some knowledge and wisdom that is there for us in our warfare against these principalities. There is some knowledge there for us, but you have to be able to go in and discern again and chew the meat and spit out the bones, because a lot of these pastors are willingly and knowingly that they have the job to keep us in place. And then there are those who I believe aren't quite awakened yet to the full reality of this wickedness. So they will be teaching a lot of this progressive stuff, but still with the religiosity framework. So you just got to be very careful and be very discerning. Do not get stuck. Take what you need. Anything that feels like restriction, someone's preaching any kind of restriction to you, leave it alone. This is all about liberation, freedom, deliverance for our people. Okay? So again, stay protected, stay aware, no lackadaisicalness. If you somebody who go out and eat out at restaurants, okay, one way that they've been able to get a lot of our leaders was they poisoned them, okay? So you need to be mindful of eating out, okay? If you can, don't eat out. But listen, I want y'all to know how intelligent these wicked ones are, okay? Don't think that they can't trace your credit card bills and stuff like that and figure out where you shop. And don't think that they wouldn't poison a whole food supply just to take you out and don't care about the other casualties in the meantime. You understand? So I need you to understand the level of wickedness that we're dealing with and what they would go to. They would go to any extremes to eliminate the head, okay? And the chosen, we are the head, okay? And we shall not be defeated, not in this time and not in this day and age. We can't be. We know their tricks. Okay, so hold on. So yeah, they'll try to poison you. Okay, for our men, you need to know, gotta be careful with these women. Okay, bringing them into your private space, talking to them, telling them I don't care how lonely you get if you ain't married and got a wife already. You need to understand that this is your mission. It's something that you need to do, and know that women are a vice that they send. and to be in control of your penis, okay? Be in control at all times. I know it's not easy, but don't put yourself in situations where you'll be tempted, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but you know, you got this, you got this, you got this. Let me see, any other ways and tactics. Be very protective over your sacred fluids, okay? You need to, women, dispose of those pads, you know, in a safe place, okay? Burn them if you can, okay? What else? Your hair, burn that as well. Never leave any hair behind, okay? If you're somebody who has a cleaning service that comes and cleans your home, I recommend that you don't have them. They can easily be accessed to destroy you because they have access to your house. There's no price that these people will not pay to give to someone to gather some sacred fluids or some information from your home to give to them to destroy you. So I need you to think on that level of how these people operate. You got to become very disciplined and very strict. This is a path that we are walking. Too much in the past have our elders fell victim. We ain't got time for that. I could listen to a video from 1966, listening to Martin and Malcolm and them talk, and I could listen to Dr. Umar, somebody from present day, having the same conversations from 1960 something. What does that tell you? We ain't made no progress, okay? Those men were the messiahs, okay? Look how long it's taken for us to rise back up. That's why I said we can't afford to let them snake us and take us out at this time, because it could take another 50 years for our people to be in bondage. Okay, we are the generation that breaks all of this shit. We dissolve it. Okay, so Martin, when I look at Malcolm, right? Malcolm went into their hospital. Now Malcolm should have known, if he talking like he talked, he needed to have his own personal doctor. Not even your own personal. At this level, when you are ahead like that, you got to be your own doctor. Okay, we seen what Comrade Murray, whatever his name was, you know, God rest his soul, did to Michael Jackson, RP to both of them. You know what I mean? What these people can do with these drugs. But Malcolm didn't even have his own personal, well, he might have. I ain't gonna say he didn't have a personal doctor or whatever, but I know he went into the hospital after they had came and I think threw the Molotov cocktail into the house and set the cross on fire in his yard. He went to the hospital and got some medication so he could feel calm after the situation. I think they got him in that hospital. I think they gave him some shit that was poison. Some of them drugs, the shit, same stuff that done took out Rich Homie Quan, this rapper that just passed away, that be on all these drugs. These drugs will get your ass up out of here. Okay, so Malcolm was under a lot of distress. He trusted them. He went into their hospitals. He should have never done that. We have to become our own doctors at this level, okay? We got to be doing a lot of preventative health. We can't just be eating anything, doing anything we want, because at the end of the day, we can jeopardize what we came here to do, our movement, okay? So don't be taking none of those prescription drugs. No, sir. No, 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 no. Do what you need to do to get yourself together, okay? Martin, what happened with Martin? I believe with Martin, part of Martin thing was, I think Martin played the middle a little bit too much, okay? He played the middle. And I think he was getting to a critical time where he needed to get out of that middle position, okay? But at this time, I believe he was enjoying the luxuries of American society. So he got caught up in the game. They said he had another woman, you know what I mean? And a white woman at that, okay? Who was probably an FBI informant who was going back, giving them the drop on them, everything they needed, okay? So you can't be calling for the destruction of this system and calling forth the freedom of your people when you are partaking in their luxuries, okay? There's a saying in the Bible that says, come out of her. Come out of her. Okay, all of her ways, the things she does, what she indulges in, you shall not indulge in. And Martin was still indulging. Okay? As he was trying to walk righteous, he was still touching those foul and those defiled things that ultimately defiled him and led to his death. So, those are just some things to think about, y'all, okay? Know that they have never stopped making us their enemy, okay, since they arrived, okay? We are public enemy number one. Know that, okay? And with that being said, I hope my message was clear and concise. I hope it's a call for you to get in shape and get your spiritual fitness together, because we need every player. We need our army strong, okay? We need to be strong. We need to be fortified. We need to take this stuff seriously. This ain't about views. This ain't about likes. This ain't about none of that. This is about deliverance. Deliverance of our people. With that being said, peace.